if I saw another day, all we do is scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off about the same mistake. Darling, where you going? It won't be as simple for you.
Yo, we are back. The United form is back. First of all, before I introduce you, I apologize. I've been pushing this. I'm sure Ed even knows. I've been pushing back this show so many days because of work-related stuff. So, but no Premier League. United playing tomorrow. We actually got some free time now to actually do the show. So, first of all, I want to just welcome AD and obviously others because the link is in the description for those who want to come on. It is on Twitter, so if you want to come on to the show and have your say, we're going to be talking about, as you can see, Arsenal, City, Bayern and Dortmund, the Champions League and Europa League, obviously results there, and obviously Juventus and Serie and the impact there. But before we get into it, guys, I'm to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter and Tech and smash the notification button for more of that football goodness. So, AD, buddy, how are you doing? Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. So, I'm good. I'm doing good as well.
Good.
It's been a pretty eventful week, to say the least, in European football.
Absolutely, and we're going to be talking about that. Let me just quickly see who's in the chat and who wants to get involved. So shout out to Jarvis, who says big up. Ant says Dino. Well, yes, buddy. Congratulations to Leicester on beating Wolves. Fingers crossed they can actually go on and get something. Well, stay up, basically. Stay up.
Yeah, I want to stay up.
Isek says, I dare was delighted to lose tomorrow. I mean, I expect us to. Like, I generally expect us to. Like the thing is, I don't take banter. When a team is clearly good and in form, I don't get where the banter comes from. It's like when we lost to Newcastle. I was like, but Newcastle are like doing well this season. Like, why is it such a bad thing to lose to Newcastle? And the same with Brighton. There's a reason why Brighton are where they are. So they're playing amazing football. And to be honest, if anything, I'll be honest, I have more faith in Brighton under Zerbi beating City in the final in a one-off game than I do United. I'll keep it stacked. So really and truly, given what I saw earlier this week, I would not be surprised if United lost to Brighton tomorrow. You know, they are a very, very good team. Let's quickly just move on to the first topic, guys. Arsenal bottling the title. And I don't know whether you caught the game, AD.
Yeah, I watched most of the game. I actually had to miss the last bit because I had to just go somewhere. But yeah, Southampton, man. Oh my God, Southampton, man. Like they might have London's number, man.
They beat Chelsea twice. Did they get anything from Spurs? I'm trying to remember.
They tied. I forgot the reverse fixture. Maybe Spurs won. Yeah. And I think they also got a draw against Arsenal twice.
I don't know what it is, man. You know, so for some reason Southampton and London seem to know what's up. They seem to know what's up. You said you allowing Pep to get a second treble. No, that goes to Real Madrid. Real Madrid is who we trust to stop Pep getting a second treble. It's Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. Also, Jose already has. Does Jose have two? No, Jose has one treble, I think. Who has the most trebles actually? Does anyone have two? Does Heineke says one. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Stream much on Sonic. Thank you. Right. So yeah. So just thoughts on this game, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for Arsenal, man, It was just it wasn't on their day, man. They were just not that good. They did get a draw though, which obviously is not as good considering they were 3-1 down. But honestly, man, they shouldn't be in this kind of position. And Ramsdale making that mistake, man. A terrible mistake. What's up with this guy? Keeper's playing out from the back, man.
I mean, I look at it, and I'm kind of like, I think that ever since Saliba got injured for Arsenal, I don't know. I think it's over. I think you can clearly see when he got injured after Sporting, when they played against West Ham, when they played against Liverpool, and obviously when they played against Southampton. Defensively, they've almost backed the Arsenal that we knew. So and I said this on my channel scene before. So is that the reason why City win and win titles is not necessarily because I think that Pep is like the best manager in world football, etc. The rest of it, like it's that he has the best squad.
Yeah,
and the best squad over a 38 game season is what's going to win you games. That's the truth. The best squad over the 38 games, including Champions League, including CL, etc. That is the squad that's going to get you the most. That is the team that's most likely to be able to win most things and most of the competitions. And I think more and more this idea of relying on individual brilliance, the key player, etc. Those days are gone. And you look at most leagues, with the exception of the Bundesliga, which we're going to go to soon. We're going to go to the Bundesliga soon and talk about what Bayern Munich are doing. We're going to go to Bundesliga and talk about one thing. But before that, would anyone really be surprised? If City get a trouble, if City doing, would anyone really and truly be surprised? I don't think so. But I mean, Arsenal do go and play City next.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge.
If you think if they lose it, it's over. Is that fair?
Yeah, and even if they draw, I would say they have to win. I don't think a draw is even an option.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree.
Sorry, when you have Rob Holding in your center back, I'm sorry, that guy's so bad.
He's bad. He's bad.
And I don't know if Saliba's going to be back in time for the game. Even if he is back, he's not going to be fully fit, of course. He's going to be rushed in. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's Man City's tired to lose at this point. And Man City is really good the second half of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Which is how Fergie won his titles. That is generally how Fergie won his titles. Like slow and steady wins the race. Artist, would you still have Dybala instead of Bruno? No. I'm not saying Bruno is world class, but Dybala balling in the Serie A. I mean, is it Serie A tax? I don't know. I don't know. Did you see? If I'm saying, did you see that masterclass? Yeah, but I'm saying it's Feyenoord. I think even United probably would have beaten Feyenoord actually. But for some reason, Sevilla and Spanish teams like Sevilla have the number on us, So, but that's my thoughts anyway, So, do you think, like, how do you see this working, man? How do you see this working? Do you think it's over? Do you think Arsenal don't have a chance?
I mean, Arsenal still do have a chance, but it's just that, the chance is very slim. I would give City probably like percentages. If I had to give some percentages, I would say probably 90%. I would probably give.
Okay.
Which that might be. I might give even. That might be a little too low for City, if I'm being honest. But I'll give 90, I guess. And yeah, for Arsenal, man, it's just so disappointing for them. And that's why I say like.
What do you think? Okay, so just on your opinion, also for an answer, like, what do you think has gone wrong for Arsenal? What do you think are the key things that have gone wrong for Arsenal? Do you think?
Yeah, I think they peaked too early, and I think because the thing is, I think there was no pressure early in the season because the minimum expectation was to get Champions League. I don't think they had much more expectations than that. And now you see, like, I think the fans especially, and I think even the players. And even Mikel Arteta himself is probably saying, "Hey guys, we can maybe go on to win the Premier League." And I think that added expectation is like putting too much. And what's really interesting with Arsenal is that you think is all the experienced players are making a mistake. Like I've seen recently, Thomas Partey has been really bad.
Yeah.
And he's been one of their most experienced players, you know.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Zinchenko, who's also very experienced. I know he's not been at Arsenal for a long time now, but we know he's an experienced guy, you know. And Jesus, yesterday against Southampton, there was like that chance he should have scored, you know. And the thing is, I think the pressure is getting to them, man. I just don't think they can handle pressure.
That is that. I mean, I just feel like it comes from what's the word? It comes from top, and the reality is that as much as and as good as Arteta's been, there's no doubt that Arteta's overachieved this season. There's no doubt about that. But Arteta has not been in a situation. He's not been in a situation in this situation before.
Yeah,
in a title so soon. You know, even Sir Alex Ferguson, as good as he is, it still took him a few years to really kind of build a squad and get into a title race. He just kind of happened to be in a title race because Liverpool FC, you know, just were all over the place, you know, and Chelsea, obviously, enough said, can't challenge. Spurs are Spurs, you know, they're not going to be doing anything, you know. So really and truly, and United, you know, I'm not going to even go there. So really and truly, who else was going to do so, you know? So he is overachieved. Arsenal back into Champions League, but you know, what do I say? Let me quickly just read some comments. Again, so Xander says, "Hey, how you doing?" And Bulgarian Mapping says, "Yo, we're doing well." David T says, "De Gea fans are using Ramsdale and other keepers' mistakes to show why De Gea is just as bad when they should be using De Gea as a benchmark to show we have the best of the best." Yeah, I mean, although Mega says you could do that for every player in the squad. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that Manchester United can get better than David De Gea. They can. However, what I would say is that we can only really discuss that once new ownership comes in, because if Manchester United have the Glazers in charge, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter, because where's the money going to come from? Where's the money going to come from? It's not going to come from anywhere. Where's the money going to come from? You know. So, and I see AD welcome people in the chat. Fair enough, buddy. Let's quickly move on, because while we're on the topic of Arsenal and obviously Arsenal doing their thing, let's just quickly move on to these guys.
Oh my god!
These guys.
These
guys. Now, this was the last time. City obviously won a treble. A domestic treble, as it were. You know, I want to emphasize domestic treble. Premier League, the Karabuki, and they won a domestic treble, but not the treble. And there you have Mikel Arteta.
What are the odds, man?
I know. I mean, I want to ask the people in the chat, and maybe we can do a poll on it. Maybe I'll put a poll in the chat if I'll just click on a poll. But I'll ask AD first. Can Manchester City win the treble this season? Are they likely to win the treble this season? What do you think?
Well, I think one thing's for sure. They're going to win the Premier League. I think we can all agree with that. They're going to at least win one trophy. So I don't see any chance they don't win a trophy. They're not going to do what Leverkusen did. 2002. I don't know if you guys remember. They were on course to win a treble, and they lost all the trophies. I don't think City will do that. Now, if that does happen, we're gonna have some scary conversations.
If that happens, we need to speak about Pep. But we're going to talk about Bayern bottling their treble in a bit. But sorry, go on.
Yeah. So now FA Cup. I also think they're. For me, it kind of depends what happens tomorrow with the whole Brighton United thing, because I would honestly say that it depends. Because for me, if Brighton makes the final, I don't see Brighton beating City. I just don't see it. Now, if you guys make the final, then I think you guys do have a better chance. So I guess I'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. But let's be real. City is the favorites. So, and then for the Champions League, oh, man, we're going to have to see. Because the thing is, RDS, what the scary thing is that they could beat Real Madrid, and then they could lose to like a Milan club in the Champions League final. Would that be surprising to you? You're muted.
So I think I'm on the news. That would be very surprising.
Yeah, because
if City lose to Milan in the final, Pep has to retire, I think.
Yeah, because remember, City, they beat Madrid a few seasons ago in the Champions League, and then they lost to Lyon the next stage. So
Pep for me has to retire if he loses to Milan in the final, because you can't lose 2 UCL finals in the space of, what is it, 3-4 years?
And you're the favorites. You're
the favorites in both of them.
Yeah.
And really and truly, it is the UCL, because yes, okay, win the Premier League, but let's keep a stat. What real competition do City have? But the Champions League, that's the league, that's the tournament that it really gives City their focus, their emphasis. Shout out to J2S in the chat, buddy, man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And David T says, surely they get exhausted because of the difficulty of the upcoming games. Yeah, David T. They'll get exhausted. They'll get exhausted. Now they won't. Because they've got the squad, David T. Because they've got the squad. They've got the squad, David T. You know? Keyman says, big up audience, big up on the chat. Thank you so much, Keyman, man. Really appreciate it. Also, Seb, man, hello, buddy. Thank you guys for watching. We're doing this thing where we're streaming on my channel and also AD's channel as well. I think we might do this quite a bit because it's rather than so likewise the situation, if I go on AD's channel, you can do the same thing. So it saves time from having to sort of be on different channels when you can now do it on both, which I think is pretty cool. You know, so, and I think hopefully, possibly, maybe I'm thinking that for a Champions League final, we can do a multi-collab with some of the different small content creators and just do a massive stream on everyone's channels and do it that way. So, but I'll be DMing people about that. Big up you guys. So I mean, I'm just looking at the poll. I mean, 5 have voted, continue voting, but I think, you know, so far the majority of you think that City will win the treble. AD, you know, as obviously as a Barca fan, if Pep does win the treble, where does that put him in the conversation of, you know, greatest managers of all time? Do you think it changes much?
Yeah, because
how do you see it?
Yeah, he won 2 trebles with 2 different clubs. That's very interesting to note. Because the thing is, like, if you do like with 2 trebles with the same club, I mean, it's obviously amazing. I'm not saying it isn't, but doing different clubs, I think, is even more impressive. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes, I would. I mean, what I would say though is that there were 2 clubs that were at the peak of their powers and the best in leagues, but still, I agree, it is still amazing. Where would you say put him? Where would you put him in terms of if you're going to rank managers? Where would you put him?
It's difficult, man, because there's so many elite managers, and it's really difficult. I would definitely put him, if he wins the treble with Manchester City, I would probably put him in maybe like top 10 best all time, maybe. I don't know if I would position the top 10, because I have to look back, and, you know, it's hard to remember all this, but I'll probably just put him in at least top 10. I would probably say
even if he wins the treble. This treble City.
Maybe not. I'm not sure all time. Maybe like the last decade or so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm eating pineapple, guys. I love pineapple. So you don't think him winning this show puts him in, say, top 3?
Yeah, maybe you can say, because the thing is, like, he's really he's a great manager. He's a great tactician. He knows what he's doing. He's won so many league titles. It's just this European record is something that's always holding him back. You know, and if you could win the Champions League at Manchester City, a lot of people would, a lot of critics would change their viewpoint on him, I would imagine.
Yep. Obviously, as a United fan, it's my worst nightmare to see Manchester City do what Fergie did, let alone surpass Fergie. It's my worst nightmare, but to see that happen. So I don't want that to happen.
And also, if he does win the treble, he'll also be a 3-peat the Premier League as well.
Exactly. So to 3-peat the Premier League, so basically doing 2 things, surpassing Fergie in 2 ways. Although Fergie did do the 3-peat twice, so, you know, he always has that with 2 different teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, to 3-peat, and then with to be honest, with, I would argue, relative ease, and that's the key. It's like it was easy. Because let's be, they didn't really struggle. If they win this Premier League, they didn't really struggle against Arsenal. Arsenal handed the title to them.
Yeah.
If Arsenal had beaten, if Arsenal had not bottled their lead against West Ham, against Liverpool, and they've beaten Southampton, Everton, this title race is actually over.
Yeah.
Like even if you take the Liverpool, because Anfield is difficult. So let's say 2-2. Do you ignore Anfield? Still, West Ham,
And
2
Southampton.
points. Southampton, 2 points. Everton, 3 points because they lost away. That's 7 points. You add 7 points onto the league, and there's no way City are catching Arsenal, even if they beat them if they're 7 points clear at this stage.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I would say like probably of the three-peat, the last season was probably the hardest of the three-peat.
So say it again.
Last season, the season where they won the Premier League on the final match day against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
That was probably the hardest of the three-peat.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, quickly on some comments. Has anyone checked up on Core yet? I have something. I might play it on the Hangout at 11, but I have some disturbing.
Receipts
from Core. Like, so tune into HJ's Hangout 11, but there's some disturbing stuff that I heard from Core said that it's a bit dodgy. And Guillaume says, "Oh, there's pineapple pizza. Yeah, name. If you're gonna eat pineapple fresh like this. Not on pizza, man. Not on pizza. Come on, guys. Come on. We can do better. Guys. Come on. Right. Okay. So moving on swiftly. Moving on swiftly. I thought Samasi would come with this. Maybe she might come in later. So I'll wait. 'Cause she did say she was coming, but if she's not, it's no big deal. We can continue to talk.
Maybe we could discuss Serie A in a bit before she comes. Maybe.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, instead of talking about Bayern Dortmund first. Oh, I literally said Samasi, and literally she's just appeared.
Oh my god,
that is literally coincidence. That's such awesome timing, Samasi. Absolute timing. I was like, Samasi should be here, and she literally appears right. Let me just bring Samasi in. That is mad, actually, guys. If you didn't see what happened, you heard. I said Samasi, and literally as I was saying the name, she appeared in the back channel. So that is almost psychic. It's almost Samasi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, Samasi. Can you see the screen? Just to let's see. Just to the right. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Samasi. So what we're gonna do is me and AD are gonna be silent for a bit. And this is your platform to rant. Okay, to say what is going on. Like I said, I've got something. The receipt you sent me about Core was wild. That was very wild. I might play that on HH's Hangout tonight because that was very wild.
Core wants us to sell Musiala. He lost his goddamn mind.
There's a lot. He wanted Nagelsmann gone, and somehow
look what happened. Look what happened. I'm so fucking mad.
Samasi, what's
no. We went.
Go on. I'll speak quiet. Go on.
We went from one of the favorites in the UCL, the favorites from the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal, to go on trophy list within what is that? 6 weeks, 5 weeks. It's embarrassing how the board handled this. The timing of Nagelsmann didn't make sense. You should have either sacked him right after the World Cup, so Tuchel had time to implement this plan to find the players he can work with. Maybe do something in the winter transfer window, or sack him after the season, not in the important weeks where you're gonna play Man City and where you're gonna play in the DFB Pokal. An absolute mess. We haven't Tuchel Bahn is really in Bayern Munich. Our best players, our defenders. We can't score 2 goals. only scored 1 goal in I think three games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst Bayern Munich team since 2001. We haven't gone trophyless since 2012. That's almost a fucking decade. I'm done with the sport. If they don't, if they don't back Tuchel in the summer and buy us a striker and buy us a DM because our midfield is fucking horrendous. He can't keep the ball. We are losing the ball in the midfield. We are losing the ball in the front field. We are losing the ball everywhere. We can't score. We cannot shoot. We cannot do anything. This is an absolute mess. Und Oliver Kahn and Brazo and Heiner should all be fired tonight. I don't care what happened, they should be fired. I can't believe Bayern are in this mess. It's just absolute horrendous. Just I don't have any words anymore. I wanted so many times, but it's just getting worse. Uh, you know, we should have talked about Chelsea, but every fucking
We are
time
going to talk
Bayern
about
says hold my
Chelsea.
beer. Bayern
We are
says
going to talk
hold my
about
beer.
Chelsea.
It's
I,
just
I,
absolute horrendous. The only good players are the Ligt, Kimmich
mm,
besides tonight,
mm.
Musiala, Sane sometimes, on any other players. Goretzka is the worst midfielder in Bayern Munich's history. He's the worst midfielder in Bayern Munich's history since 2005. He cannot play in the midfield anymore. If I see him in the midfield again, Tuchel should be fired. How
What
many
happened?
times?
He used to be really good. What happened to Gretzka? Why is he
I
sort
don't
of
know.
deteriorating? He was really good.
I swear, Core happened. Core is a curse on my club. Since he joined as a Bayern fan, we sold Thiago, we sold Lewandowski, and didn't replace them. And now we're in this mess. So in the summer transfer window, Bayern buy a DM, buy a striker, buy Osimhen. I want Osimhen in a Bayern Munich shirt. That's all I want. And then maybe we can win something again, because as long as Kimmich and Goretzka play in the midfield, we don't gonna win anything.
So okay,
So
so you obviously had obviously I'll come to you next and we'll chat. But what do you think is the fix? Because you're ranted, you're right. I completely agree with you. Bayern is a bit of a joke club right now. But what is the fix? What is the fix to it? What is the solution?
we need to back Tuchel, because we cannot sack him. We cannot do sack another manager. And not really good managers are available. Besides Enrique, and I don't think he works with Bayern. So we have to back Tuchel. We need a DM or a DM and a creative midfielder, because Kimmich is not a six. He's a box to box, but he has to play as a six. Because Goretzka can't do anything. We're gonna sell Goretzka, sell Mane. I love Mane, but it hadn't really worked out. Sell Janapri. He lost all his footballing abilities. I don't know what happened. He's just. We should have probably sold him to us and had in this summer, but we extended him, so we need to sell him this summer, and then buy midfielder, defensive midfielder, in the likes of Thiago, and then a striker, a great striker, okay. And our defense is actually the only good thing about Bayern right now, and they didn't really play it good tonight. So we need a
What do you
new
think? What do you think about
midfield.
this,
We need an
Massey?
attack, and then maybe we can work.
What do you think about
No,
this
he's
comment?
not. Nah, yeah, that's true. And I don't really trust our board to buy the right players, like, because in the last few years we didn't. We saw Thiago, and then we didn't replace him. We saw Lewandowski, who had 40 plus goals every fucking season, and we thought we're gonna win something. No,
Mm.
and we should never sack Nagelsmann. Look at where we're now. We are
I'll,
second.
I'll be honest. I was surprised, and I said this to Chelsea fans and my fans. I was like, say what you will about Ronaldo, say what you will about him and his thing, but I was very surprised that none of those guys, when they know they need a clinical striker, why they were like, okay, let's just give this guy at least 1 year or 2 year deal just to do something.
We should have just the 6-month deal in the
Yes, deal.
transfer window, winter transfer window. We should have given a
Exactly.
6-month deal and looked.
Exactly.
If you could score a lot of goals, we're gonna keep him. If not, that's it. But we didn't. I think our whole squad plan was just wrong. That's why the real problem is. Our squad is very unbalanced. We have a lot of defenders, and the only other midfielder next to Kimmich and Goretzka is Gravenberg. And why not play Gravenberg? He's better than Goretzka. Just play him. I know he hasn't played a lot and he needs match fitness, but at least he's better than Goretzka. And the only great finisher we have is a 70-year-old Tell. Just let him play. He's better than
I'm surprised
Choupo-Moting.
you guys in the Jumbotron didn't go for Fulkrug. Fulkrug. Was Fulkrug not was not is he, unless he's injured, but was he not potentially
No,
not?
but he has a longer contract with Berman, so we really couldn't buy him in the winter transfer window, so that's probably the problem.
AD, your thoughts just on the Bayern. Well, before I go to AD, just one last question for Samasi, because right now this table says that Dortmund are winning the Bundesliga. Do you think? Are you that hopeless that you think that Dortmund is?
I think it's gonna be the last day, and they're gonna win it. I think we're gonna lose another game. I don't trust this. I don't trust this player that they're gonna win. We haven't won a game consistently in a row, 3 games in consistently in a row since I think the restart. It was since I think not the restarts before the Pokal, also with Nagelsmann. Tuchel has as many defeats as Nagelsmann the whole season, and the board sacked him. It's just endless. Kennt ihr, do you know expression? The YouTuber?
Spurs fan.
Yeah. End the season, Dave. End the season. I just want the torture to end.
Oh dear. AD, man. AD. Oh, sorry. Before I go to AD, I keep thinking before I go to AD, just the questions. We talked about that. Tuchel just needs his boys, Sterling, Koulibaly, Kukureg, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Well, maybe. You never know. I wouldn't be surprised if in the summer, maybe that's something that Sebastian's been concerned about. Because maybe he might be like, listen, because Chelsea are going to want to offload players this season as well. So, and if Bayern are like...
Yeah, I don't want any of these players.
But what happens if Tuchel wants them, though, Samasi?
What happened to Tuchel? It's really here. Our best players are the defenders, and they score for us. It's just, I can't do this anymore. Our attack is really, really dead. Our midfield is dead. The only good thing is our defense, and that is slowly declining. I don't know. It's just 5 weeks of this torture, and then thank God the season's over, because I have an agenda against Pep Guardiola, and the thought of him winning the treble, especially with Man City, makes me really, really sick. And as Man United fans, it should make you sick also.
It makes me very scared, but I don't trust my club to beat City. The only team that I trust
you have it in your own hands. At least you can do it. We failed.
We're going to lose.
Our mission.
We're going to lose to Brighton tomorrow, unfortunately, because this club, these players are bottle jobs. And literally, the only team I have faith and trust is Real Madrid. Real Madrid.
Listen,
It's
we need all the juju. We need Trey, the Man United fan. We need HH. We need all the juice in the world to defeat them.
AD, thoughts on this whole debacle with the only I keep on cutting off AD. I'm sorry, but just there's one last point is that because I'm looking at Union Berlin and RB Leipzig, right? And if Union Berlin and RB Leipzig win their games in hand over Bayern, they'll be on 55 points. So Union Berlin will be 4 points behind Bayern,
Wow,
and 5 points of Leipzig. Just to clear up Samasi, Bayern are definitely securing top 4. They are. Are you confident that Bayern will secure top 4?
We haven't finished outside the top 4 since 2005.
Okay.
That's almost 2 decades. If this board, the board needs to be fired, the CEO, the sporting director, every fucking one of them, I want to be fired. Some of these players, we will do a Ronaldo and just kick them out of our club. I don't care. Listen, I'm gonna protest outside the Nastasha. If this happens, if they embarrass me, the whole Munich, the whole country, and finish outside the top 4, someone needs to pay for that. I don't know who, I don't know when, but somebody will pay. That's
So
all
looking
I'm saying.
at these last 5 fixtures, do you see? Okay, so you've got Hertha Berlin at home, then Werder Bremen away, then Schalke at home, then Leipzig at home, then Coin, I think it is, away.
Cologne, yeah.
Cologne, sorry, not Cologne. Do you see? Are these easy dubs? Okay, no, Leipzig isn't an easy dub at home. I get that.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Schalke will be problematic because they are fighting in the relegation zone.
Okay, fine.
Hertha,
yep.
I don't know. They're also in the Bremen have actually a good striker. So
full crick.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
Samasi, he can't. We can't. All right, see Mike in the background. Bring Michael in. We can't have a situation where Bayern can't qualify for the Champions League next season.
Listen,
we can't.
Maybe I swear, Koa is the biggest curse you can have on a club. He was a Dortmund fan, and now he's a Bayern fan, and now Dortmund are winning the Bundesliga. He's the bigger jinx than HH. Let's face it, he's bigger curse. It's just, I don't know. I don't think we have not the mentality and the facilities. We don't have the facilities to do that, okay? That's all I'm saying.
I keep on obviously going because I watch you have your say, obviously, so it's over that. But what are your thoughts on this whole Bundesliga? Shout out to Mike. Thank you, Mike, for joining. Really appreciate it. Guys, subscribe to him, to Mike's channel. I was in the chat while you were talking about this nonsense that Bayern are doing right now. But AD, what's going on with Bayern? What's going on?
Yeah, it's a complete mess, man. The Bayern board, man. I don't know what's happening. Oliver Kahn and Brazo. It's a mess. And Julian Augustman, man, it was a very harsh strike, and I still don't understand what was the whole point of it. You know, I thought in some ways it was kind of done for the Champions League because they had little to no confidence with him against Pep, and they tried to bring Tuchel. Maybe in some ways they were trying to do what Chelsea did. Like, okay, we'll just Tuchel won the Champions League with Chelsea, so maybe if we bring Tuchel in mid-season, it will work like that. But obviously, it's not as simple as that, And yeah, man, Bayern's a position where they might even win the Bundesliga. So, and Dortmund, man, this is a huge opportunity for them, man. Huge opportunity. I still don't really trust Dortmund, man, even with Bayern being this bad.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens, man. And as Samasi said, some of the Bayern players have to leave this summer. Some big players have to come in this summer. A striker, number 6. Yeah, man, that's my thoughts.
So it's the same pattern. 2 still in the final photo to Caliban. And AD, obviously, says they should go for Kane. Well, I think Kane and Osimhen are going to certainly be very, very, very popular in the summer. So a lot of teams, United, Chelsea probably will be going for something, Bayern, and so on, are going to be needing strikers in the summer. But Mike, thanks for joining us. What are your thoughts on this debate right now? Because surely Dortmund can't win this title. And as I was kind of hitting at Samasi, if there is trouble in paradise, we also kind of have a situation that Bayern don't qualify for the Champions League, right? Because I'm seeing Union Berlin and RB Leipzig aren't that far behind. What are your thoughts on this whole mess?
Well, I mean, if they go out of top 4, then FBI will be at Bayern Munich's headquarters immediately for crimes, because I just read that Julian Nagelsmann 37 games, 3 losses. Thomas Tuchel 7 games, 3 losses.
Yeah.
So what's the point in sacking him then? Look.
There was.
I mean, the first half was okay. From the second half, they were a shambles. They were so bad. They looked like prime Chelsea under Tuchel, where they could do nothing going forward. They looked toothless. And defensively, I feel bad for De Ligt, because I actually think he's having a quality season. It's just everybody around him is just, they're clueless. They're clueless. And you can't be losing to Mainz, drawing at home to Hoffenheim, losing at home to Freiburg in the DFB Pokal. This is unacceptable. And right now, Bayern are going through a very, very bad patch. You know, when it's going bad in the changing room, everything starts to go bad. And that's now what's happening. And I just think they've really misplanned this whole season. And now it's just, without no striker, they just look terrible. And what did they do? They listened to Julian Nagelsmann. They said, we don't need a striker. Okay, we'll sell Lewandowski. We'll just get a false 9. We'll get Sadio Mane. And this is what happening. But you got to also give a lot of credit to Dortmund, because in 2023, they've been amazing. Obviously, you know, they've had a couple of slip-ups, like against Stuttgart, against Schalke. This is Dortmund,
Chelsea.
but Chelsea, yeah. But otherwise, I think Dortmund have been a really good team. And the Fufu merchant Adeyemi was excellent today. He leaped like Ronaldo for one of those goals, for the assist to Doni Malen. I mean, the leap was amazing. And now it just gets really interesting for Bayern, because if I'm looking at the remaining 5 games, I don't think that they're not going to pick up 5 wins. There's no way. I think they will draw or lose at home to RB Leipzig. Away to Werder Bremen, could it get a little dicey? They'll beat Hertha, because Hertha are just terrible and they're getting relegated. Schalke at home, that could be interesting because they're in a relegation battle. So, look, they could drop 2 games, and Dortmund have a favorable schedule, but you can't trust Dortmund because it's Borussia Dortmund at the end of the day. But at least finally now the Bundesliga is exciting, and with 5 games to go, it's probably going to be the most exciting league out there, because Serie A is done, La Liga is done, Ligue 1 is done. Do we say the Premier League is done yet, RDS?
Well, we talked about that at the start, but I mean,
it's done.
I think the only hope Arsenal have is that they have to
most
go.
likely done.
They have to go to City and win.
Yeah.
If they win away at Manchester City, then we can start to have a conversation about that. But so I won't say it's done, because you can never know in football. A red card here, Gabriel just movement there, and suddenly they do something. But yeah, it's close to being done, because I can't see Arsenal beating City away.
I can't see it either. So look, the only league that will be enticing will be the Bundesliga, which probably nobody thought before this season, which makes it even more bad. And Ligue 1, of course, but that's a guarantee. And look, I think overall Dortmund, what makes good thing about Dortmund is they could have really fumbled the bag big time in today's game against Frankfurt. But what did they do? They came back strong. They put in a champion's performance, because they saw the result and pressure could have got to them, but they absolutely walloped Frankfurt. That could have been 5-6-0 today. So that's at least good signs. It's just, can they maintain the focus for the final 5 games? That's going to be the biggest problem here. You know, they still have that bottle gene in them. If they can overcome it, if they can, let's say they win their next 2 games as well, I think they'll win the final 3 games. We'll see what happens.
Sebastian says, RDS, Mike, AD, good trade, and also big up Semas as well. Thank you, Sebastian. Sebastian, do you have any final thoughts on the future of Bayern Munich Football Club if things keep on going the way they're going?
The future looks dark. The future of Bayern Munich looks dark. If we don't get this transfer season right in the summer, I don't think we're gonna win anything in the future. We need a striker. We need the DM, and we need to sell a lot of players off. If we do this, maybe Tuchel can really work with his team. And I don't even know if Tuchel is the right man for the job. That's also a lot of question marks. Bayern have a lot of question marks. I really don't know where Bayern is going from here, and this is very, very worrying for me.
Right, let's move on and to talk about Juventus and Serie A. So we're going to talk about. Well, okay. Let me just show you. Let me just show you this image here because I haven't seen the Serie A table in a while, and something just surprised me. So I'll just scroll here. Now, I don't know about you, but there's something about this image that looks a bit odd. I don't know on the chat. I don't know on the panel. Is there something that you can see on the screen right now that looks strange? AD, Mike, what do you think? Is there something on this here that looks a bit weird?
There's no Milan clubs in the top four.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. But is there anything else, Mike? Maybe you have some thoughts.
There's some old lady. Don't know the name of the club, but it's just old lady. That's what I've heard.
You're Monte Calcio.
And Samasi, what do you think?
I think that Jose Mourinho is doing a great job with Roma.
Yeah.
That's true. Also true.
That's also an observation. That's also true. That is also true. That is also true because if Jose gets top four, wins the Europa League, there's going to be some. I assume there's going to be some conversation.
Listen, I have agendas to run. And Jose Mourinho being better than Pep is one of them. So.
Oh my God.
I mean, I did say if he wins the Europa League and somehow by some miracle is able to go in and qualify the Champions League next season and win that, then there would be no debate. There would be no debate to take a team.
He said, Jose Mourinho is never wrong. He said, "Are we really fair? Because Juve still could be fair because we are in Italy," and he was totally right.
Can someone explain why I've never seen this? I mean, maybe Mike, because obviously you into stats, but I can't remember the last time that I saw a situation where a team was deducted points in the same season, and then those points were then given back to the same team in the following season. Has that ever actually happened before?
Ardius, there's only one answer to this. Italy. How else can you explain this? This would never happen in England, Germany, maybe Spain. This is Italy. This is
France.
Maybe France, but Italy is just the Serie A it's a crazy league, and you deduct them points on the basis that they did this. Then they go into a hearing, and now you come back. Oh, they did nothing wrong. Here's 15 points back. But I don't know if you've heard, RDS. There's another hearing in a couple of weeks, so they could be deducted 15 points again.
Oh, for God's sake!
That's come on.
So,
this is
getting ridiculous.
What the heck?
This is a clown show.
Because they're going to go to another court, apparently.
Man, this is so weird.
It's banter, man. I mean, come on.
How?
It's why not wait? Why not? What they should have done is why not wait till the end of the season, make a decision.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You have to be sure, and your arguments have to bulletproof if you deduct a club 15 points. And you didn't do a job good? Or how do they get the 15 points deducted and give them back? If Serie A couldn't 100% sure prove that they're guilty, why do it in the first place? I don't. It's a mess. It's a total clown show in Serie A. But it's Italy. I just think brown envelopes.
Well, I've got to think because shout out to the Rossoneri TV guys, love those guys, put lots of good content, always watch your stuff. But I almost feel bad because it's almost kind of like if Milan lose, um, against Inter, or if they get fun they lose, then I don't want to say you can say it's a bad season, but at the end of the day, like next season they start worse off. They're going to be going into the Europa League. They're not going to be in the Champions League. They might lose some of their players. So even though Milan are in theory having a good season now, in theory next season they'll be weaker if this stays as it is, because they won't be in the top four anymore. You know, so
yeah, Inter are going to be screwed because financially they just they don't compete. Because Zhang, the owner, he just doesn't want to spend money. I just got to say, this is another reason why Jose is one of the goats of football. When the reporter asked him, what about the 15 points returned to Juventus? Jose responds, the points were returned 3 months ago. I've been in Italy for 4 years, not 4 days. So he knew what was going to happen. They were going to get their points back. He's never wrong. They're going to get their points back. It's what it is. It's what happens. Unfortunately, they just don't... They don't have a clear sort of federation or hearing on these issues. They go to different courts to get these circumstances. Look, fair play to Allegri and the Juventus players for working on these hard circumstances and still continuing to perform. And then, you know, Milan and Inter are just having bad seasons. But, I mean, it's just shambles. It really is shambles from the whole federation. At least they did one good thing, and they rescinded Lukaku's yellow cards for when he got the red card for the racism thing. But they gave it back to him now, so he's at least going to play in the second leg. But otherwise, yeah, look, this league, it is something else. That's why I love it. It is something else, this league.
By the way, I thought
you're muted, RDS.
Like Lukaku still goes back to Chelsea after this season.
But now, RDS, that Milan derby Champions League semi-finals, it took a whole lot of more importance to it.
It has, because both teams are like, this is literally potentially could be our chance. Because, you know, are they going to win the Champions League, either of those teams? I doubt it, because we've got a certain person here who I think they're the favourites. But it might be their only chance of getting Champions League football next season.
Yep.
Don Smoke, thank you for joining us on this topic of Juventus and Serie A and this whole mess. What are your thoughts on what's going on in Serie A?
Hey man, like I'm shocked the season is not over yet. Like you could have actually stopped the season a few games ago. Napoli is gonna win, right? Even though Napoli's form has dipped heavily, I think the start which they had is sufficient enough, and especially without Inter or Juve fighting them. But AC Milan also dropped heavy from winning Serie A last season to this season. I feel as if, but funny enough, like the fact that they're in the semis, it actually should bring a lot of questions on many other leagues, because let's be honest, this is Serie A is in one of its worst states it's been in for a very long time, right? So shout out to them. The fact that they're still in here. Well, with Juve, we always know Juve is like the Madrid there, right? In terms of political things or decisions going their way. We always knew that at some point they were going to get it back. And that's why Uncle Mo, being an old lady, he knew that, this is Serie A, man. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. But shout out to them as well, because shout out to the players and Allegri, because they could have literally bottled, be like, you know what, there's nothing to play for. We're not gonna get top four anymore. Screw this. Let's try to the season. But they kept going on. Right now, then in the semis of Europa as well, they could have been versing a certain neighbor of ours who bottled it, who couldn't represent the city well. So, yeah, man. Shout out to them.
Fair play for this. Is anything any thoughts on this? Oh yeah. So just still on the topic of Serie A. But obviously, just reflecting the Champions League, the fact that we've got like a Milan derby in the Champions League, thanks to obviously Inter Milan winning their games respectively. What are people? I think the two questions I'm going to ask is like, who do people actually see overcoming, who winning in that game, and what are people's thoughts on how Serie A teams have performed in Europe in general this season? Because there's still, was it 5 teams?
Yeah, there's two. There's obviously the two Milan clubs, two
Yeah.
teams in the Europa League, and then one in the Conference League.
Who's the team in the Conference League again?
Fiorentina.
Fiorentina, that's it. Yes. So 5. So yeah, those are the two. Those are the two questions. Like, who do you think will overcome the Milan derby in the UCL semi? And what are people's thoughts on how Serie A performed? And should people be taking Serie A more seriously because of what they've done in more Europe, as opposed to, say, for example, the French league, where I don't know how they can be considered top 5 club in the league when they've not won a European trophy. No team, French team, has won a European trophy in the 21st century. And there's no French team representing in the semi-finals, you know? But so, yeah, anyone who can...
Look, I think when it comes to the semi-final between the Milan clubs, it's 50-50. Because there's no real... I guess there's sort of home advantage when obviously it's the home games for either side. But overall, like, Inter are just cup merchants this year. That's what they are. They're terrible in the league. They can't score for anything. But then when it comes to the Champions League, they just score for fun. They score 2, they score 3. And they've been... Look, Inter have had a tough road, you could say, somewhat, in this Champions League campaign. They've obviously had Barca and Bayern in their group. Then they had to play Porto, which is never easy, in my opinion. And then they played Benfica. And they did fantastic in the home game against Benfica, where, look, it was 3-3, but they were clean sailing throughout that match. I just think it comes down to the managers and how both managers set up, because both teams were very defensive in the quarterfinal around the 16 games. One of them has to take the initiative. So who is it going to be? For me, I think Inter are going to be more happy just to hit them on the counterattack, and then we'll see how Milan can adapt to being the team with the possession and having to defeat a low block. And always the wonderful battle between Dumfries and Theo Hernandez is always going to be a highlight to watch in this Milan derby. And overall, when it comes to Serie A, look, the image of the Serie A is not the greatest, and it doesn't have a lot of money. And rightfully so, it doesn't have a great image because of certain things fans do, and, you know, banning away fans like Roma have done, Napoli have done. That's not great image for the league, and that's something that the Serie A and the country have to fix up on, because you have to allow away fans. Look, I went to AS Roma away this season. I felt no problems, but obviously certain clubs they have, you know, beef with, but you cannot ban away fans. That is simply not allowed, and that is something that the federation needs to deal with. And until this league can get some money and actually fix up the stadiums, because most of them are from the 80s or when they had the World Cup in 1990, I think that the league will become good again. But there is a lot of good young managers and good players. It's just about the whole image of the league is not the greatest, and that's something they need to fix up on before it can truly go back to what it was in the glory days of the early 2000s, late 90s, where Milan, Inter, Juventus, even Lazio, Roma were doing fantastic. Yeah, I think it just comes down to money and just the image of the league, and then they can get back to that heights. I think if in some miraculous way Serie A wins all European competitions, that's going to boost the league image, but the circumstances outside of the football are still going to be there, and that's something they have to fix up before taking that next step as a league.
Thanks, Mike. Any other thoughts on the panel about Serie A, seeing the Milan derby?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'll let Don Smoke go first.
And go on, Don.
No, I think, especially in the Europa and Conference League, shout out to them. They won conference last year. Europa, they have a very good chance, right? Because even Sevilla, I don't think this is the strongest version of Sevilla, right? No offense to United, right? I don't think this is a Sevilla that used to win back-to-back Europa Leagues. So you have a very strong chance, and Roma, on the other hand, it's a 50-50 for me, right? So I think, but the thing though is, for them to get some sort of momentum their side, they'll probably have to win the champs, right? Because Europa is still tier 2 when it comes to Europe, right?
Yeah.
In terms that Sevilla have won it so many times, but they've never actually made that progression to that next level, right? And they always drop back into Europa. So, and to be honest, the reason why there's 2 Italian teams in the Champions League is because of the draw. I believe if they were put on opposite sides, they'll be out by now, right? But regarding cups, I feel as if Inter have that because of the way they set up. right? Their defensive structure, they will have. And even this season, I think didn't they beat AC Milan 3-0 in the cup or whatnot the last time? And it's a 50-50. It's a
That's the thing.
50-50. And
I don't think you can definitively say either Inter or AC Milan are going to win this game.
yeah,
It's one reason why I like it. It's like it literally is. It could go to anybody's. But sorry, go on.
Tight margins.
yeah, because of the league form, right? Had it been Napoli, because of what they're doing in the league, they would have the odds would swing their way. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, guys. A cup final, a final is a final. You don't have to be the best to win a final. So if they go through and they have the heritage, let's not kid ourselves. It's not like they're going to their first final. Right?
Yeah.
They have the heritage of both clubs have the heritage of getting over the line. So AC Milan is still AC Milan of the European giant, right?
Yeah.
So would I be surprised if I saw some Leao magic in the final, or if they keep pull out a blinder like Courtois against Liverpool last season? No, and we saw it. He saved the penalty against Napoli, and I rate him very highly. I feel as if it was to go to a shootout, though, I see AC Milan getting over. And the thing though is, I feel as if it will require a few years for Serie A to get back, a few years at the top, whereby they make it into the latter stages of the knockout, back to back, right? For them, you see, like for example, if you see La Liga, Madrid have carried La Liga over for a long period of time, and the respect of the league by getting them, even though Bayern has knocked out Barca out of the champs every season after season. The fact that Madrid still goes on these runs and they go to the latter stage of you can't diss the league, right? You can't diss it, and it deserves respect. And I think for La Liga to have that respect back, they're gonna need a club to carry them as well. This season, most of us were thinking it's gonna be Napoli, but it just shown that what we saw just showed you that at the end of the day, just like City, whereby as much as we were doing well domestically, I think it takes a certain level of experience and maturity to perform well at the latter stages of the Champions League. And I feel as if Napoli could be that club based on what they're building. Because AC and Inter, do I see them next season at this stage again? Unless they get a favorable draw again. But the team that I think that could be consistent is a Napoli, based on the consistency they showed in the league. But I feel as if Serie A, they still have a bit of work to do to get that respect and that prestige that they once had.
Fair enough. So, Matthew, do you have any thoughts? We move on to our final topic, which I'm sure, given that we don't support Chelsea Football Club, we can all laugh at. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Serie A and AC Milan derby?
I think, like Don Smoke said, that it was the luck of the draw because all the Italian teams went to one draw on the easy side, and all the English and German teams went from the other side with Real Madrid, and that's why they went so far. But I think what Serie A needs is a lot of money and very good marketing, because they don't really do great marketing for the Serie A, because I think were very great in the early 2000s, but didn't really profit from it. They didn't really put money on it so it could develop further, and that's why the Premier League overtake them. So I think maybe in a few years there can be on and a very good investment. Maybe they can be a very good league again. But I just think it was the luck of the Thomas Inter visit Milan. I think Inter have very good defensively and maybe could win it off, but AC Milan have 7 UCL titles, so maybe their heritage can bring them further. So it's a 50-50 for me also.
Right. Let's go into the final topic here. Let's go into the
Oh
final
wait, I
topic.
didn't get to speak.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I think AD, go for it. I thought I got to AD. Go on. Give your thoughts. Sorry about that, mate. Go on.
Yeah, Serie A, man. I think they got the most teams in the semifinals of all the European leagues. 5 Italian teams:
Yeah.
Inter, Milan, obviously Juventus, and then obviously Roma, and then Fiorentina. So, I mean, that Milan derby is gonna be really interesting because I would say both the teams are around the same level. I don't think there's any one that's like completely superior to the other. Although I think Inter got the better head-to-head this season than Milan. So when they played against each other, then again, though Milan were not great in those times. They were, I think it was like early January. They were not great at that period of time. So, yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think we could see a Italian team in the Europa League final, like Roma and Juventus? Could we see both of them make the final? Because that'd be pretty interesting. Final Roma Juventus.
That would be mad because I know how Jose Mourinho feels about Juventus. I still remember the cupping of the ear when he was at United when he went to Juventus. So if Roma beat Juventus in Europa, it's going to be mad. It's going to be crazy, So Jose, will be so. And in fairness to Jose, like I can't really, he gets a lot of criticism. He's tried his all, but at the end of the day, you look at where, for example, Spurs, who decided not to give him the opportunity to manage a final, are now, and where he is now, and like he's a better. So these are the things, and we'll talk about a certain club in a minute, So, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Juve Roma. Personally, I don't know what everyone else thinks. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's really hard to say. I haven't fully made my mind yet.
I think Bayer Leverkusen have a shot to win the Europa League. It's not a big chance, but Xabi Alonso has really figured the best formation and tactics with the players he have out, and Wirtz is just unbelievable. Him and Frimpong are the best players in Bayer Leverkusen, and anyone who buys them buys a great talent, especially Wirtz. Wirtz is what English people think Jude Bellingham is. He is the 150 million player.
So, Matthew, Wirtz belongs at City, right? For me, I was saying that's the brain.
He doesn't.
That's the brain replacement. He is a typical Pep player. Let's face it, very technical, very great on the bar, great football intelligence. But if he goes, I want him at Bayern. Okay, if he goes to Man City, I will be devastated. Samasi, we listen to my argument, right? Have we mishandled any players from the Bundesliga at Man City? And I'm sure you'd say the answer is no. Whenever we buy players from your league, we take good care of them and we make them shine. The list goes on, right? And
that is
now
true.
The thing is this,
Chelsea who do the opposite.
Now the thing is this: if he goes to Bayern, I don't think he's gonna get the credit that he deserves because Bayern has been winning the league over and over. Whereby, if he comes to City, we're gonna make him a better player, right? And then which he could help Germany exit the group stage in the next World Cup. I'm sure you want that.
Don, this comment went too far. I'm still not over that he went in the group stage in the World Cup. So no, I think he the only clubs he goes to is either Man City, Real, Barca, or Bayern. That's are the 4 clubs it's going to be probably 2024 because of his contract, but he will be gone by 2024. I don't know where, but he is really, really, and he reminds me, he is a more gifted, technically gifted Thomas Müller. Same footballing output, just a better version of him. Whoever gets him, put him on a 8-year contract, 7-year contract, because he's just getting better every year.
Yeah,
Not
do you
even
think?
Man City doesn't do that. We just give you a 3-year contract and you're gonna renew on your own. It's only criminals who think of 8-year contract. You see, Samasi, you're thinking now like Chelsea owners, Samasi. That's not good.
Chelsea are crazy to do that.
Well, we're going to talk about Chelsea in a second. We're going to talk Chelsea in a second. So before we go, SMB has a question. Smash, do you support any other team other than Bayern? Your second favorite team is maybe a different league.
Funny enough, AC Milan.
Man
I
City.
really like. I don't support them, but I really like them as a team.
No, she's a low-key Man
because
City fan.
I grew
Samasi
up with the
she'll
team.
never admit it. Samasi will never admit it, but she's a low-key Pep Guardiola fan.
Listen,
I think she hates. Yeah,
one
she
loves it.
I think that's wrong.
That's
so.
If Pep wasn't your manager, I probably would like Man City, because I love the Man City team with Sane and in 2017-18 team with 100 fans. I really loved how they play. I watched probably every game for the Man City, but I hate Pep so much that I can't.
No, she's just mad
City.
because we sold a fellow German. That's why she's mad. But other than that, she loves Man City.
Oh my goodness! Right, okay. I'm gonna just quickly bring things around, because I think this is the final piece that we need to kind of have a very brief, and I'll just quickly move things around. Here we go, and we're gonna do this. So
Chelsea are such losers. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
This looks like, because Fabrizio kind of spoke about it first, and then David Ornstein, who's been quite tier one recently, has pretty much said that this is close. That Nagelsmann and Luis Enrique are out, and Pochettino's in. I'm actually speechless, because for starters, because it's like, one, just on a pure footballing level, well, not footballing level, but a fan level, I can imagine the true proper Chelsea fans being like, how can we have an ex-Spurs manager as the manager of our club? That's the first thing. Because even though Arsenal and Spurs are the main rivalry, Chelsea also hates Spurs as well. Everyone hates Spurs. But more importantly, a lot of Chelsea fans have, and I was speaking to, I think it was Abdullahi's stream yesterday, they seem to have this idea that this season is just one-off, and when we get a new manager in, we can reset, we can revamp, and we're going to be good next season. We're going to bring an experienced manager who's going to work, and he's going to give us success sooner rather than later. Does Pochettino strike you as a manager who's going to bring instant success to Chelsea Football Club? And that's an open question to the panel. I don't know, what do people think?
No, I don't think so.
Dom, what are your thoughts on this?
I love this, man. Let him go in, man. Let him go in. The London Blues deserves it. I've never seen a club spend so much just to go backwards.
I haven't either. Go on.
RBS, it's similar. Imagine this scenario, right? You're running a 50-mile marathon tomorrow. Now, out of preparation, you're running tomorrow. You go and run 100 miles today.
Yeah.
To prepare for tomorrow's 50-mile marathon.
Yeah.
To the point that instead of you being ready, you get finished, that you can't even start the race tomorrow, and you end up losing because you couldn't even compete.
Yeah.
That's Chelsea. They thought that they're going to be ahead of the curve by spending all that money, whereby you get the manager first, then you spend money based on what the manager wants. Because now the thing is this, and if you look at the managers they're getting, it's not like there's a particular philosophy that they all strive for. No, they're all different type of managers who want different kind of systems and players. So whoever you get in is going to end up selling players and want their own players.
Mm.
But I'm loving this, man. More. I want more of this.
Well, SMB in the chat says, low key, Poch to Chelsea is not bad. They will play with more energy and it'll be more fluid, the offense. But I think you need a hold-up type of number 9 for Chelsea and Poch's system.
Arias.
See, my thing is, I'll come back to Johnson. My thing is that I don't think Poch is a garbage manager. But the point is that like if he was, for example, if he was out of Brighton or something, a development coach with time, then fine, whatever, go and do your thing. But the reality is that Chelsea fans are so and can be so deluded. No offense, Keeman in the chat. I know you're a Chelsea fan. That they need instant success right now. That when you look at all the other clubs, you look at obviously City where they are, Liverpool, whatever you say about Klopp, he's still further on in their development than Chelsea are right now. United, we don't know about new owners, Qatar, etc., Newcastle, etc. So my question is to Chelsea fans is that are you prepared potentially to wait 2, possibly even 3 seasons to see the outcome of a Pochettino project? Because Pochettino, at least from what I can see, is not a manager that's going to give you instant success next season, and he may not get you top 4. More importantly, people forget the Spurs players threw him under the bus. The PSG players threw him under the bus. Chelsea players are known to basically down tools when their going gets tough.
Yeah.
So
Can
as
I
soon
say
as
something?
yes, Massey, go on.
This is such a bad move. I'm sorry. Because Pochettino is satisfied with making top 4, with playing good football. He is not there to win trophies. He has not the right mentality. And the biggest problem, he's a yes man. Todd Bowley wants a yes man, and that's why he will be the new manager. They don't want a manager like Pep, who says, I want this and this player to play my football and to win. Todd Bowley wants a yes man, and with the yes man, you can never win any trophies. Especially on a mess right now. They bought for players for 600 million, and really, did Potter really say yes to all these players? Probably not. They just bought all these players on potential. Not even really good players. They just have the potential to be good players. Besides Enzo, and it's a total mess. And this summer transfer window, they cannot even buy another players because of FFP. So
yeah.
Chelsea are in a bigger mess than Bayern Munich right now, and that has a lot to say. I don't think these owners, if I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their plan is, what their direction or vision for Chelsea is. I think they just thought if we spent a lot of money on young players and build a squad, we can win something. But it's a manager's game. The football, what is today, it's more manager's game because we really don't have superstar players anymore. So they thought it all wrong. It's a total absolute circus.
I'll just before I go to AD, let me just quickly read some comments because SMB's got some points here. He says, Keeman says, I can't wait for post Pep City. I'll probably 45, but I'll be there. I don't believe in processes, RDS. I want to win, not lose. Don't gaslight me. I mean, I'm just saying. Do you really believe that Pochettino's going to win Chelsea trophy in his first season, or even get top 4? Because I don't see. I mean, you don't know. You don't know with a new season. United could fall apart next season. We know that, but I don't see, especially with oil money, I don't see Newcastle slowing down. Liverpool, you don't know what they do. They'll add. City aren't going to slow down. Who knows what Arsenal are going to do? Spurs, we don't know what manager they'll get, but maybe they do bring the Nagelsmann or Enrique. So heavy managers damn near failed PSG. I don't hold that, and the UCL final against Poch. I mean, Tuchel did okay. Tottenham have achieved massive in the UCL campaign. They did, but he did bottle it when he decided to drop put Harry Kane in a final and drop Lucas Moura. That was an L. And Poch did get successful against when he was at PSG against Madrid, but the players failed him with his errors like Marquinhos and only Mbappe showing up. And yet have you looked at the players that he has at Chelsea? Have you looked at those players? Kepa threw Lampard on the bus, yet he's still starting for them. And with Ziyech unhappy with not getting his move and Bowley going in the dressing room, it's looking kind of PSG-esque right now. And also their wages are ridiculous. AD, what do you have to say about this Chelsea debate?
Yeah, they're a complete mess. Yeah, it's just a mess, man. At Chelsea at the moment, they're just looking so bad. I think the issue with this Chelsea team is that there's no chemistry. There's no stability. We don't know what's going on. There's no play style. And I don't think they even know what they're going to do. Like, are they going to go for the short term, like long term? Like, because right now they got, in my opinion, they got to focus on rebuilding. I don't think they have what it takes to win a trophy right now. And for me, Poch is an option for the rebuild, but I don't think he is like a good option long term wise, because we saw that he wasn't able to succeed at Spurs. Remember when Spurs were so bad after like reaching the Champions League final? They were like mid table. They got crushed by Bayern in the Champions League, and then he even failed at PSG. You know, wasn't he even lost the League One title to Lille, which is really embarrassing. You know,
true.
And so like yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. What's Chelsea, man? I don't know. I mean, even with a new manager, I don't even know. I think there's an everything issue. Like, just bringing a new manager doesn't really fix everything. It's kind of in some ways with the Glazers, with Man United, is that that just bringing a new manager doesn't fix anything. Like Todd B, he just wants a yes man. You know, as Samasi said earlier. Like, I don't think Todd B, really knows how to be. He's never really been in a situation like this, so it's difficult for him to do this. So, I mean, we'll see, man. What happens. And yeah, man. So it's looking peak for Chelsea.
You know what it is?
Yes,
the biggest issue with Poch is he doesn't know how to handle big egos.
Yes.
Right. And if there's one club that has egos, it's Chelsea. Right. All the managers will tell you that these guys normally throw managers under the bus. Right. And plus, at the end of the day, hence you are right. Poch is a project manager, right? A young squad with low expectations, whereby you're like, okay, try and get the most out of these guys. That's the best place for Poch, right? That's why he was good under Tottenham 1.0, whereby he just got some young guys in, trying to make them play, enjoy their football, similar to a Potter, right? Whereby just enjoy your football, see whatever you can get out of this season. If we end up in the top 6 or top 4, then great, it's a bonus. This thing of whereby you put him in a situation with expectations to win, man. Unless I see these guys don't mind paying managers prior to their contract ends. That's what I'm just seeing. That's the pattern. Because I see this is another disaster in the waiting.
I mean, what does Cleveland say? Cleveland says, Poch is a loser, RDS. I don't want to see him near my bridge. I was promised Nagelsmann, my Eid ruined. Keyman, unfortunately,
Nagelsmann rejected them because they had two different visions for the club. I don't know what, because I think Nagelsmann would have been the right fit.
Well, that's what I thought, but and we often think, we often think that Nagelsmann is a project manager. So the fact that Nagelsmann rejected it tells me two things. And I think this is the scary thing that, and again, Keenan feels if you're a Chelsea fan, is that I don't think Nagelsmann Nagelsmann's not going to be like Jose and be like, I want you to spend 300 million players on 300 million pounds on players in summer. I don't think Nagelsmann is like that. I think he'd have been like, okay, reasonable backing, but let's try and compete for X, Y, and Z. So the fact that Nagelsmann was like, tells me, and even Luis Enrique was like, okay, not out of it. You know, even though Luis Enrique went to London and they're like, no. It tells me that Todd Bowley's vision for Chelsea Football Club is different. Todd Bowley's vision of Chelsea.
You mean bad?
Sorry?
I don't think it's different. I think it's a disaster and bad.
Yeah, well, yeah. What I'm
Because-
saying is, it's. I think Chelsea fans still think that this ownership is like Abramovich, and they're going to go and they're going to compete in all competitions. They're going to win. They're going to win that culture. I don't get that. And Todd Bowley, like Todd Bowley's probably said to Poch, like, listen, we don't have a lot of money to spend in the summer, so don't expect tons of money, 300 million, whatever. It's the first thing. And the second thing is we expect you to, we've made a lot of investment in young players, as you've seen. Chelsea's been paying a lot of young players. That's our mode. We expect you to use the squad and the young players who are coming in to develop them for a long-term project. Here's a 5-year deal. That's what I expect the conversation. And that's why I think that Nagelsmann and Enrique were like, I don't know. I don't think I'm up for a 5 or 6 year deal with project-based players. I want to at least be competitive or something along those lines. You know, I don't know. Does anyone disagree, or what do people think?
I think I agree with you. The issue is the culture of the fans, which they've been brought up to, right? And you can't blame the fans, because that's exactly that. That's the products which they were sold. That no, here we don't do projects. We refresh things every year or two. We don't go more than 2 seasons without winning anything. Whereby with this guy, hence he belonged at Spurs, because he's not really there for trophies, right? He's just yeah, like I think Poch would be a good academy coach, right? The EDS kind of things, whereby he coaches kids for the first team. That's Poch's best role. Like, as for clubs that are competing, that want to compete for titles, man, and I think this is the sad reality which Chelsea have to make peace with. The issue is this: next season will be hard, especially with Newcastle into the frame now. The sense that top 4 is not a given anymore. Brighton is also there in the picture. There's so many teams now who are fighting for those top 6 spots that if you just have a bad, if you have a bad run of games, you're out of it. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool is, even Aston Villa. Aston Villa is also fighting for Europa and Conference. So I don't think it's a givens anymore that you're gonna get top 4 and it's a foregone conclusion, which makes managers like Poch become kind of redundant, right, or obsolete in that sense. Because he's not going to give you a 15-game or even a 10-game winning streak to create a large enough gap between him and the oppositions. Man, I'm happy. I'm loving this though, but I feel sad for Chelsea fans. Like HH, you're gonna be making a lot of streams on your own, just crying.
I mean, I am curious.
By the way,
Go on, Samasi, go on.
That Chelsea hired Lampard, and we still didn't get the complicated Chelsea so back.
Yeah, I was disappointed about that. We should have got a complicated Chelsea show. No, we should get complicated Chelsea show if, and I keep on asking this question every stream, is when will Chelsea next win a game? I keep on asking that question, like, because I can't remember the last time they won a game. They only have a few games left in the season. I mean, maybe I'll ask the panel and hey, chat. Let me know. Chat them know. When will be the next time that Chelsea Football Club, based on the fixtures they have, when will they next win a game? What is it like? AD, when do you think Chelsea win a game next? Oh, AD might be gone. Don't smoke. See, when will they win?
They'll have to pay the oppositions. I feel as if Todd Bowley would have to open his checkbook, or maybe or draw. Forget a win. They just need points, man.
They do need. They just need 1 point, and they're safe. But I just don't know where. But I don't know where this point is going to come from. That's my thing.
No. Against Arsenal,
Maybe Forest.
I feel as if
maybe
Arsenal.
Forest.
No,
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal.
You know RDS, right? I told people prior to the Arsenal game that Arsenal were going to drop points. People thought I was joking. I told them that Southampton was fighting for relegation. I remember the season when Leicester won the league. Chelsea were totally out of it, but they went to Spurs and they made sure Spurs weren't in contention. Chelsea is one of the best party poopers, especially for London rival. Trust me, they'll shithouse the place against Arsenal.
Oh, that's
They just
true.
need to make
It's gonna be
they
Arsenal.
drop points.
But then they did, in fairness, they did beat you guys to give Liverpool the title. So potentially they could, they could do that with you guys.
They do that. That's Chelsea for you.
They shit us. That's true. I think it's gonna be the next game they are gonna win is either Forest, Arsenal, or the club league against Wrexham.
Jeez. Oh dear, bad. Oh dear. So shout out to I think it's a Lego. The Lego dude says I don't think Chelsea should get Poch. They'll probably just spiral down even more. The most have a marginal sort of improvement over Super Frank. Rado says I also don't know why Gala hated so many fans suspect Poch because before Ericsson was able, I want Poch at United because of how he took Clown Experts to UCL finals. Yeah, I don't think Pochettino is a bad coach. It's just I just don't think that, as Don Smook has perfectly summarized, I think he's good for clubs that have little expectation for challenging for major trophies, like a Spurs. A top 4 thing, or maybe a good cup or not thing. To coach a bunch of good upcoming young players, great. But if the expectation, like at PSG, out of Chelsea, is that you should be in contention for the Champions League and the Premier League every season, I don't know if he's the manager now. Mega says though Poch is good though. He wasn't that bad at PSG. No, I don't. Lille won the league, so I'm not sure. Next season says Lego because I was even referring to the Chelsea when they win the next. Chelsea have only scored 1 goal in the past 5 weeks.
Oh my god,
that's bad, man. That's actually really. I don't know how many goals Haaland is on course of scoring, but if there's a situation where Haaland has more total goals this season, then Chelsea...
I think he already does. I think he already does.
I mean double. I mean double.
That's already bad enough.
In all competitions, if Haaland has scores double the amount of goals that Chelsea has scored in the league, then interesting. Preseason, maybe next season, says Keyman. When Mason Mount's David, relax, come on.
David.
Relax, man. That's it. Can't be that bad. It can't be that bad.
Wait. Samasi, would you take Poch to replace the Took at Bayern?
No, because let's face it. No, it has more to do with our squad than Tuchel, because actually Tuchel has the right ideas, but they don't work with these players he has right now. And we need to strike. I swear now. Do you know Haaland chose Man City because he get higher wages with them and we didn't want to pay him the higher wages? What the fucking hell is that? Really, because of higher wages, we didn't have Haaland. What the fuck?
I mean, you could argue. You could argue it all started with that, because my understanding was that Bayern were so confident they were going to get Haaland that they basically ignored Lewandowski's wishes. Lewandowski got annoyed, and he was like, "You guys have disrespected me," and basically that's what led him to go to Barcelona. And then, it all starts with that, didn't it? Yeah.
If we offered Haaland the higher wages, he would have gone with Bayern Munich. We hadn't had the striker problem, and they didn't have Haaland against us, and he won't score. It all started because we didn't want to pay higher wages. It's always the same problem. Sometimes we don't pay enough or didn't want to pay the transfer fee, and that's why we go for the cheaper option.
Sorry to interrupt here. Would you say that was the same for players like David Alaba and Thiago, or was that completely different?
Yeah, Alaba wanted higher wages, We said we're not gonna pay you that, and then he went to Real Madrid.
So Mercy, right? So you say that he has the right ideas but the wrong players. But isn't that the coach? That's the coach's issue. Imagine I have a manual car, right? But I have the
No,
ideas of
the
driving
players.
automatic.
He says to the players how to play, and they don't really play how he wants them to play because
Yeah, because he's a
they're
bum.
No, but
no.
even no, come on, you can't call a man who's won a Champions League a bum. He's won a Champions
What about
League.
Di Matteo? Wait, would you call Di Matteo a bum?
No, I don't. No, I don't call Di Matteo a
That's
bum.
just Chelsea.
Yeah, it's just Chelsea.
No,
but I
I'm
mean,
saying no, because I'm saying
Yeah,
to
but
that point, would you call Di Matteo a bum?
yeah, but Di Matteo did like Tuchel took back what was almost back to back, wasn't it? He took PSG to a CL final, and he took Chelsea, and he took Chelsea to CL final. So you can't like once. Okay, I'll give you once is love.
In the league,
twice
in the league, he struggled. Remember the season he went to the CL final, right? Yeah. Leicester were actually fourth until they bottled the last game to
Gareth Bale.
And yeah, so they were about to miss on the Champions League spot, and the next season they struggled again. So I'm trying to say that Tuchel is a cup manager, right?
Yeah.
Over in a league, he normally struggles, and he falls out with players. It's not the first time. Then I'm saying, like, because at the end of the day, for you to be an elite manager, you need to be able to do it in the league and in cups, especially the league, because your league is your bread and butter. Because even Zidane, after winning the three-peat, the moment he won La Liga, they asked him which was the greater achievement. He said winning La Liga was actually more satisfying than the Champions League, because he says to win the league, you require consistency, right? It's not luck. It's not like, a few games we can try shit out. No. You need consistency. You need to reinvent yourself, because teams will figure you out after the first part of the season. And we've seen it with many teams. That's what I'm saying. That's why I still call him a bum. And in 7 games, Tuchel has lost the same amount of games as Nagelsmann.
Yeah, and also Don Smoke, you make a good point, because I mean I don't completely agree with what you say, but like because Real Madrid, they're generally more known as a Champions League team. They don't really have as much success in La Liga compared to the Champions League. So I can kind of understand why Zidane said that, because like, Barcelona usually dominates the league, and usually win most of the league titles. I think in the last decade, Barcelona won like 7 of the 10.
Yeah,
Real won 2. So, but yeah, getting back to the I actually want to ask you guys this question. Last question.
Yes, last one. We'll begin to round up here.
Who do you think is the ideal manager for Chelsea? Like, if you personally could choose one, who is like 100% would suit Chelsea's needs? Like, is there any manager out there right now that's like available, that's not with the job?
I would say Zidane, right? Because I think Chelsea the first key attribute of a Chelsea manager is the attitude, right, and mindset. You need someone who is like all or nothing, and they won't take nonsense from anyone, right? Hence Mourinho, even Conte, they succeeded there because of their mindset.
Yes,
you don't need a nice guy. You don't need a nice guy in a Chelsea suit.
Yeah, and that's another point. I think the players will respect the manager. I feel like Potter and Lampard, they weren't I don't think. Yeah, definitely with Potter. I'm not sure about Lampard, but I don't think they respected Potter that much as a coach. Like, they didn't think he was that good.
That's why I picked Zidane, because I think Zidane has respect, and he's achieved. He's basically won anything you could win as a player. So you can't tell him nothing, and you're not going to impress him. He's won so basically, when it's even at what you at Madrid, if he told Ronaldo do this, they're okay. This guy, he knows what he's talking about, and you need such a figure in such clubs.
Yeah. No, I think that's the key thing. Certain clubs. That's why, so I think that there is a place, I think, for what I call the rise of the player managers, but they have to be starting to achieve stuff. And that's the thing, so only a few. I mean, shout out to Vincent Kompany. I hope he does well with Burnley. But as Don Smoker said, like, I think with a lot of these players, yes, okay, they can believe in the manager's philosophy, but I think we are seeing the death of like I just think a lot of players, whether it's they believe their own hype, maybe because they're told they're amazing so many times, etc., etc. So for them to sort of change and listen to a manager, for a lot of players, it's just easy to be like, listen, I don't get on with you. Fadil says, I hope Company votes. Well, Vincent Company. Well, I mean, in fact, Don Smoke. Maybe we should talk quickly just as we round up. But Don Smoke, man, what happens if this happens, man?
Oh my god.
What do you think Vincent should do this, or what do you think?
I think what he's doing is actually the right way, the right way and the right trajectory, right? Because if he goes there, besides getting money, nothing more good will come out of it.
So you think that, like, if you're Vincent Company, stay with Burnley, do their thing, you don't go to
you come into the Premier League anyway, right? So this will be a good place to test yourself, right? Look at Eddie Howe, right? He came up with a weaker team. He tested himself, and then people saw that no, there's potential. So now because I remember when he went to Newcastle, most people were thinking, is this going to be a caretaker manager and see them through that? But look at him now; he's actually going punch for punch with most teams. So I feel as if Vincent can come in for a season, no one is asking him to win the league or qualify for Europe. Just come here, try survive relegation. Then once you do that, then I think it'll be good. It'll be good for his career long term. Especially, as I'm saying, it depends how you see yourself. Do you see yourself managing a big team in the long term? And if that's the case, go this path.
Yeah, I heard he's completely revolutionized Burnley. Like, they're playing like attacking football now. They're not playing like park the bus defensive football anymore, which is very commendable. And they sold a lot of players this summer. I think they got rid of a lot of the best players.
Yeah, I think Vincent Company is gonna be a great manager, and I think he's gonna probably gonna stay a season with Burnley, stay in the Premier League, and maybe go to maybe a top 5 club, maybe Spurs. Yeah, maybe Spurs succeed with them and then go to Man City.
Samasi.
Yes.
Since you don't like Pep, do you at least like his disciples?
Some of I have liked Company as a player, so I like him as a manager. Xavi, I love Xavi as a player, so I like his disciples. I don't like Pep, but I like his
What
disciples.
about Seven Hag? Do you like Seven Hag?
Leave Ten Hag alone.
Let him give him a striker. Give him better wingers. Man.
What about Vegos, the host?
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I think with that, will round up. Thank you so much for everyone who's tuned in. Really appreciate it. Always love the United Bomb. We'll be back next week. I think I'll let it be a weekend show, actually. I think that's probably better, actually. So
weekends much more better.
Stuff. Weekends is easy. So remember, obviously, in this instance, I've been streaming. So shout out to those who are watching on AD's channel as well. And those who are watching on mine, make sure you head over to AD's channel and subscribe. I think the goal from this would be to try and multi-stream across different channels to have like a collaborative show rather than jumping to different streams, so we can do that. But hopefully this works. So shout out to those who are watching. Really appreciate it. Thanks, AD, Samasi, and obviously Don Smoke. Thanks everyone in the chat for watching. Have a nice day, everyone, and peace. Cheers. We are finished.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say. For those watching my channel, please also subscribe to RDS as well.